Where is Aaron right now?
Well, apparently, according to Jay Glazer, he hopped a plane.
Yeah, they invited
himself
him.
To go to the Jets facility for them to tell him face to face, turn around and go back.
Oh. Well, we don't know where he was.
I don't know.
Maybe he was out here, I guess.
I'm imagining wherever he was, he flew in just to be told, I don't think it's going to work out, which is the exact opposite of what happened when they went to first get him. Remember they flew out?
Yeah, to Malibu.
On Air Woody with Robert Saleh and everybody and Joe Douglas, the general manager. In other words, everybody that Woody fired during the season last year.
Oh, good point.
Just 1 year after going on Air Woody to tell Aaron, hey, we want you to come to New Jersey.
Yeah, good point.
And you bring your Hall of Fame resume, and that's all that's needed to take this young roster that Joe Douglas expertly put together through the last couple of drafts to the point where we're ready to win now. We're ready to win now. We're ahead of schedule thanks to our offensive and defensive rookies of the year and everybody else balling out. And yada, yada, yada. Didn't work out. Most disappointing 2-year stretch I can remember for the Jets. And then 4 snaps in, and he snaps his Achilles, and then the next year, he and the Jets had a ghost ship of a season. But you can't blame Aaron Glenn for wanting a completely fresh start. That we're going to run the offense that I want to run. Mm-hmm. I'm imagining it's something that Aaron Rodgers could understand or maybe doesn't want to do either. Right? If he's the end of a stretch and wants to keep playing. Sure, he and Devontae Adams could run it back for the Jets, but this is not a fantasy camp for 2 guys who love playing together. And I don't know. Obviously, it might not have been contentious at all. It might have been like, hey, this is what we're thinking. What are you thinking? This is what I'm thinking. Well, at the end of the day, I guess we should go our separate ways. Oh, sure. Okay. Hug it out and gone. I don't know what happened in that meeting. The reports all came out at the same time. Did you notice that, too, during the Sunday morning shows? As if somebody on one of the sides of this decided to call everybody and say it's over and use this moment to let it be known.
Is there an insider group text?
I don't know.
Like Schefter, Tom,
I
don't
think so.
Diana,
but I think it's definitely a coordinated moment where everybody had the same scoopage, to use one word, and it makes total sense. I just don't know who the Jets are going to go to. I don't know would they take Shedeur if he drops.
Ooh, that's fun.
Would they go ahead and say, welcome to New York? You imagine the Giants and the Jets are the ones who wind up with quarterbacks in the top of this draft?
So Jets are 7.
Well, the Raiders are right in front of them. So one would think that
they'd have to go up.
They'd have to go up if they love them.
Yeah.
And the Jaguars would definitely sit there. They're sitting there 5 thinking, we don't need a quarterback. Everybody knows the Raiders are about to go take one or thinks that they do. Hey, who wants to sit right there? I'm sure the Patriots would raise their hands and say, we'll go first in that regard. If you want to beat anyone in the punch, go up to 4.
Patriots and Jets doing a draft day trade would be something, but you get an extra
the Bills
pick or two.
The Bills and the Chiefs just did one. The Commanders and the Eagles did one for Cooper DeJean, our first-hour guest.
I bet the Bills would want that one back.
I don't know, man. We'll see how Keon Coleman works out. I'm just throwing it all out there that how wild would it be if the Jets go, you know what would be perfect for us right now is Sam Darnold, who, by the way,
would be perfect for them right now.
Would kind of be perfect for them right now.
Right.
But all those options for the Jets should be entertained. The last 2 years, needs to be wiped out. You remember how the Jets got wiped out by the Patriots in a regular season game? And don't answer yet because there's many of those. But the one that caused Rex Ryan to bury the football. Mm-hmm. The last 2 years for the Jets should be buried like next to that football. If they have that territory still there, if that football is buried at the Jets facility somewhere still, they should, like a graveyard, like a Jets let's memory hole graveyard. They should find a plot next to it, come up with a football that's like a game ball from the last 2 seasons, and bury one from each of the last 2 seasons, and just bury it and move on. And guys, I know people will lay stuff on Rodgers' lap. It is a collective. And, you know, I can't wait to see what Aaron Glenn brings to this equation, what the new general manager brings to this equation. I told you the first order of business for the general manager should be to figure out Garrett Wilson. Mm-hmm. And the first order of business for Aaron Glenn should be going right to Sauce Gardner and saying, whatever caused you to respond on social media to somebody saying, talk to T. Higgins to come to the Jets, and you're like, basically, nah, I'm not going to do that to him. Whatever caused Sauce Gardner to lose his faith and have any sort of his confidence in succeeding in New Jersey and New York for the Jets shaken in any way, fix that. That's Aaron Glenn's first order business. You go to the 2 offensive and defensive rookies of the year that you have. You go to those ROIs and say, we buried those footballs. Last 2 years are gone. Done. You got Tyrod Taylor in the house. Great guy. You want to get somebody younger in front of him? Great. You want to go with Tyrod Taylor next year and figure out and kick the can down the road? I'm fine with that too. I mean, the Jets are, you know, I have a young team and you want to win now, but what are you going to do? You're going to hope Kirk Cousins pops free and you're going to go with another guy from another team coming off another Achilles injury? You're going to go with him? Who else? I mean, you want to call up Les Snead and go YOLO from Matthew Stafford?
Ooh.
I can't imagine that is anywhere in the cards. You know, you're going to go with somebody else who's pushing the end of retirement. You got to find yourself the next guy. You got to find yourself your Jaden Daniels, your C.J. Stroud. You got to find your Mahomes. You got to find your guy. And if it's not in this draft, the next one. Take your freaking time. Get the culture right. But it makes sense to part ways with Rodgers. And for Rodgers, I don't know. Remember that Red Hot Titans rumor? Remember that one?
Well, he has a place in
that house
Nashville,
in Nashville.
Right?
And everyone was doing the lifestyles, the rich and famous. You're trying to Zillow your way to understanding the quarterback market. I don't know.
Yep.
I mean, that's not a bad choice, but that's not a way to go out like, you know, Elway, if that's what he's envisioning. Raiders? You do that? You go to Tom Brady and say, what do you think? And
Rich, in case you're wondering, you can bet on this.
Okay.
The favorites are the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's not a bad choice either. That's not a bad choice. And again, it's all about what Rodgers wants to do. Does he want to keep playing still? If I'm him, I'd want to.
You know, the wins and losses weren't there, but his numbers were fairly decent.
If he's feeling good about himself and he can find a situation with a coach he knows is not going to get fired after 5 weeks, you know, and he can install himself in a manner in which he's comfortable. I'd entertain that idea if I'm a franchise that needs somebody over 1, 2, or 3 years. Don't forget, I mean, if this is the narrative that's playing out, okay, that the Jets take an all-time Packers great who goes there and has a completely forgettable tenure, a total disappointment of a tenure, and then he goes somewhere else and damn near makes the Super Bowl. That's the Favre journey. Obviously, that wound up in Minnesota. That's not where Rodgers is going.
They're the 4th best odds.
Come on, is Minnesota?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Well, you're not going to like who's 3rd then.
Who would that be?
Well, San Francisco.
Okay.
Would you rather pay Purdy 60 or Rodgers $30 million?
All right. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.